Van Orden.
The gentleman from Wisconsin is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to support the CARS Act, which will stop this executive overreach by the Biden administration by preventing the implementation of regulations that seek to limit consumer choice and instead of allowing consumers to choose their vehicles, the vehicle that best suits their needs. The Environmental Protection Agency has produced a rule that will effectively require over 2/3 of all vehicles sold in the United States to be fully electric in less than 9 years. While I believe electric vehicles have their place in society, this misguided EPA mandate would have an immediate detrimental impact on the choices and the affordability of cars, trucks, SUVs, and that are available to my constituents. Despite billions of dollars being spent on part of the Biden administration's IIJA infrastructure bill to expand our nation's EV charging network, at present the electric grid is incapable of supporting this. Not to mention the fact that according to the Department of Energy, the range of EVs is reduced by over 40% in cold weather. And I remind you, I am from the state of Wisconsin. For the rural cold climates in my district, EVs are simply not the answer at this time. Even more troublesome is that biofuels were barely mentioned in the IIJA, which means that the clean, renewable energy options to power our country's transportations are nearly forgotten by the Biden administration. Despite ethanol production supporting more than 300,000 jobs concentrated in rural areas and adding $43 billion to the U.S. economy or economic output in 2019 alone. I'm proud to also co-sponsor the Flex Fuel Fairness Act, which would provide a meaningful incentive for automakers to manufacture flex fuel vehicles in addition to battery-powered electric vehicles. This would offer more options to consumers and unlock increased use of lower carbon liquid fuel blends that contain higher levels of ethanol, including E85 and E30. Flex fuel vehicles are the exact type of domestic support transportation solution that Congress and this federal government should be incentivizing. So let's encourage these vehicles to be used, not Chinese-mined batteries. Not only would the EPA's proposed regulations severely limit the consumer's choices for affordable vehicles, we would understand, not only would the EPA's proposed regulations severely limit consumers' choice for affordable vehicles that fit the need for the average Americans, and an over-reliance on EVs would be a drastic consequences to our national security. This is why. Up to 90% of the electric vehicle battery supply chain comes from the Chinese Communist Party. For the foreseeable future, at least 67% of all forecasted battery cell manufacturing controlled by China will take place until 2032. In contrast to China, the United States has 7% of the global battery production capacity. The batteries that power EVs require critical minerals including lithium, cobalt, nickel, graphite, and magnesium. And the key component here is cobalt. 73% of the world's cobalt is produced by the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that is mined by children. The Chinese Communist Party controls over 2/3 of the global production of cobalt. So, Mr. Speaker, it is imperative that we understand that if we go through with this measure, we are essentially sanctioning child slavery, and that is unforgivable. So, in fact, this bill does something. It's for the moms and dads that are driving their children to school, and it's to prevent these children from having to work in slavery, and it also supports our farmers who feed the world. And with that, I yield back.